Hello and welcome to this week's episode of I've Got a Story for You. I'm Luke.
And I'm Josh. And if you've made it this far, then you are the chosen ones.
Yeah, I mean, this week, strap in. I just want to start this week with a small disclaimer that we're going to be getting into some quite graphic content. And it is not for the squeamish or the faint of heart. And I don't know if I want my family to listen to this one either. But they're probably going to.
Yeah. Well, they've listened to some of the other ones.
Yeah, but this one is... It's not good for me, this episode.
Well, to be fair, Luke, right? They're looking at a different side to Luke, and it's not that bad.
Right. Should we just get straight into it? Enough foreplay and all that. Okay, so the title of this episode is Heading to Uranus. There's going to be quite a lot of bum and poo related content in this. So I went out on a date with this girl, as most of these stories will probably start. And we went out for, I think we went mini golf, which is like my go-to first date. Went for a bit of food. And then afterwards she was like, oh, do you want to come back to mine for a couple more drinks? I was like, yes, I do. Absolutely. So got back to hers and she had like the cutest dog. It was a chocolate Labrador.
A chocolate, ironically.
Yeah. Yeah. But she was so cute, but she was really fussy. And like we were just on the sofa having a few drinks. I think she had some music on. We were just having a chat. But the dog was like constant attention all night.
Right.
And it was like every time we started getting a bit touchy-feely, dog would be like straight there in between us, passing us toys and balls and shit to throw. And at one point, like I think we'd worn the dog out just because she just kind of took herself into the kitchen, sparked out on the floor, and we started getting busy. And one thing led to another. We both stripped off. And she was on the sofa and I was on my knees going down because I'm a gentleman. And all of a sudden I just felt a tiny little lick on my bumhole.
Like a timid deer.
So I jolted up and I was like, what the fuck was that? And she was like, are you all right? And I was like, I think your dog's just licked my bum. And she went, oh yeah, she does that.
What?
I was like, no, that's not a thing. That should not be a thing.
Oh no. Fuck, that just raises some questions right there. Like, does she let the dog rim her?
I don't know, but that dog knew what she was doing. Counterclockwise the lot.
That dog was spelling its name in your arsehole.
Oh, so but then she tried to carry on kissing me. She was like, "Oh, just forget it." I was like, "I'm really sorry, but I can't. I'm like so flaccid right now. There ain't no chance my soldier's getting into another fight tonight. It's not happening." So we just like finished our drinks, and I said, "Oh, I think I'm gonna head home." And she was like, "Are you sure?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, she was like, "I'm really sorry." I was like, "Oh no, it's fine." I said, "It happens." I was like, it fucking shouldn't happen, but it did. And that was it. And I never saw her again.
Fuck's sake.
Oh. It was bad.
There should be a helpline for people like, what's happened to you?
Mate, no, you can't get anyone to take that job seriously.
Like the man, you know, like on the end of a EastEnders episode, it's like, if you've been affected by anything that's been brought up in this episode, here's this number to ring. And then there's just some old man on the back on the back end of the phone, just being like, so just you've just been rimmed by a dog. Okay. Well, there's lots of people that this has happened to.
Well, there's not. That is not a relatable thing that I think many people can say has happened to them. So who are they going to talk to? And the other person's just not going to be sat on the other end of the phone going...
Probably the same people that have put peanut butter jelly on their on the penis for the dog.
What the fuck is peanut butter jelly?
Fuck it. All right, peanut butter then. I don't know why I said peanut butter jelly.
Do you know the other day when you said to me, I feel like I come across like a proper div on these podcasts?
Yeah, I do, because I just say some fucking stupid shit. It's like, it just comes out. It's like word vomit.
Yeah. Oh, it's funny though. That's why we love you.
Oh, yeah.
But you've had an issue with your bum.
Yeah, I have. The first time, I think it was a few months ago. Like, you hear people say all the time, like, oh yeah, piles. Like, and you don't expect it to happen to you. And then that one time that you do the wipe, and then it feels like and you've got a third bollock hanging from your arsehole. Panic sets in. It's like, is there a...
It's not nice, is it?
No, it's like, is it a tumour that's dangling between my, like, gooch and my arsehole, or is it, like, what's going on down there? So, of course, like, you look in the mirror, you do the bending over.
The squat.
The squat, yeah. Spread those cheeks, baby.
That is... Do you know when you do that squat, that is when you realise that you are a disgusting human being. I don't know what that fucking dog saw in me.
I hope you didn't have piles at the time. Otherwise, we got some lovely dingleberries right there, just sucking on that nectar.
That is fucking disgusting.
Oh, fuck. But yeah, I had piles for the first time a few months ago. And
I know, I got the photo.
The photo you saw that came from my girlfriend was me at desperate need of needing some attention down there because I was in panic mode. And so what I got Hannah to do was lather me up in about half a tube of fucking anusol in the desperation of trying to get rid of my extra bollock dangling between my arse. Oh, man.
She's a trooper there.
She is. You don't find them like that all over.
No, you don't. I didn't need the photo evidence, but...
I mean, it was funny, though. I was like a man baby, just getting fucking slapped up with Sudocrem.
And talcum powder.
Talcum powder.
Oh, yeah, piles are fucking horrible.
I know. It took ages for him to go as well.
Yeah, it's not... Well, if you're using half a tub of anusol every night, then I'd imagine it'd clear up pretty quickly, would it not?
Well, I went to my dad about this. I don't really go to my dad about many things, right? Because he can be sensitive, but he's very insensitive, and he'd probably just take the piss. But I was like...
He's a man, innit he? He's just a typical man.
Yeah. I was like, Dad, I know you've been here before. Like, what do you do about piles? And he just went, oh, stick some depositories up. I was like, you are? You're like, yeah, suppositories. You were like, right. I'm like, so I look into them, and have you ever seen a fucking suppository?
Yeah. They're a lot bigger than you think they're going to be.
They're fucking massive. It's like a fucking, like, have you seen those bullets that you can get for those vibrator bullets? You may as well shove one of them up your arse. Because, fuck me.
I was just about to say, the time I had piles, before I knew what it was, I was wiping my arse and there were a bit of blood. And I was like, oh, that's not good. So I went to the doctors with it. And it was a different doctor to the one I'd had before. And this was a female. Which, for any other issue, is absolutely fine with me. But when I had to lay on a bed with my arse out, with my knees up to my chest, while she went prodding around, I've never felt so vulnerable.
But getting licked by a dog in your arse, where did that come?
But that's different.
Rank it now. Whilst we're here, which one was worse? You getting fingered in the arse by a woman nurse, or being licked in the arse by a Labrador?
Obviously, getting licked in the arse by a chocolate lab is not the way I wanted that night to go. But it's very different because that dog has not got the same level of consciousness as... And she was an attractive... I know this is just going to sound really bad. She was an attractive doctor.
I thought you were going to say an attractive dog. You hesitated on the D, and I was just like, please don't fucking say that dog.
That dog hesitated on the D, I tell you. No, it's just a different kind of weird. And she said afterwards, she was like, right, I can prescribe you, there's two things. At first she thought it was thrush. And like I mentioned at the end of last week's episode, I didn't actually get it, but I just got the tablets. But when you got the tablets, they either came in just an oral form or a suppository form. And I was like, there ain't no way. My bumhole's been through enough. Oh my God.
We've gone too deep into this fucking pile thing. I feel so sorry for everybody listening. Like, they've just all got pictures in their head of just bloody arseholes.
I did tell people, did I not? I did a disclaimer. If you're still here, then I put up signs. You just didn't read them. But it's about to get worse because there's one dating story that also links to bums, but in a different way.
Go on.
So, same again. So, I went on a date with this girl. She was from Sheffield this time.
Okay.
Took her to Roxy's, played a bit of shuffleboard. Night was going really well. I was like, yeah, she's nice. Then she was like, do you want to come back to mine? I was like, absolutely. So got back, and she lived in a studio apartment in Kelham Island.
Okay.
And the thing with studio apartments is your bedroom, kitchen, living room is all one room. And you've just got like a little curtain to go into the bathroom. And we'd had some like chicken on the way home that was not sitting right with me all night. So we have a couple more drinks, we get frisky, have a wonderful evening. It was a bit weird, but I'm not going to get into that on this episode because I feel like this deserves an episode all in itself. And the morning after, all I wanted to do was like leave just so I could go to the toilet because there was no way I was defacing her entire apartment. Because one drop of that would have taken out the whole fucking floor. It would have not been pretty. So I was like, no, I need to leave. But then she suggested, oh, do you want to... Because I was getting the train back. She said, do you want to go to a cafe for some breakfast and then I'll take you to the train station on my way to work? I was like, oh, yeah, that sounds pretty nice, actually. But are we all right to go pretty soonish, please? Just because I've got some shit that I need to do when I get back home. She was like, yeah, it's fine. So we got ready. I'm clenching the entire time and my stomach is making some fucking weird noises. And I'm like, I'm just like, she could tell that I was uncomfortable. She kept saying like, are you all right? Are you all right? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm just like a bit delicate from last night. And gets to the cafe. And at this point I am like sweating because all I need to do is drop the kids off. So we get in the cafe and she was like, oh, do you want to get a table first? I was like, you find a table, I just need to run to the toilet real quick. So I pelted it to the back of the cafe, slammed the door behind me, locked it. But as I pulled my jeans down, I explosively shat all in my boxers.
Fuck me.
And I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Because luckily it was like a single cubicle toilet.
Right.
It wasn't like a full-on men's room, because I had to luckily it didn't go on my jeans, so I had to fully undress, take my boxers off and put them in the bin, and then get a load of toilet paper and tissue paper and put it on top of the bin so people didn't see that some grown man had thrown his shitty boxes in a cafe bin. And I was gone. I must have been in there for about 20 minutes cleaning up.
Oh, she definitely knew what were happening in there.
Yeah, because, bearing in mind, it wasn't very busy. I walked out. There was a guy waiting to come in. And he walked in, and you could hear him from like the other side of the cafe, retching. So I went and sat back down, and I don't know if you've ever worn jeans without boxers, but it's not a pleasant experience.
Oh,
My foreskin got shredded.
Fuck me, yeah, it's chafing on the next level. You might as well just stick some sandpaper in your boxer shorts in between your gooch. It's fucking painful.
And I sat back down, and she was like, "Are you all right?" I was like, "Yeah, it was that chicken from last night. I just weren't feeling too good." She was like, "Oh, are you all right to eat?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine now. I'm empty."
Fuck's sake.
And I'm ashamed to say that's not even the last time I shat myself. I did it on Friday. But in my defence, I've just got over that fucking norovirus, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Which is not pretty. But yeah, I didn't go to work that day because I couldn't risk shitting myself in front of a client.
No. This was this weekend just gone, we were meant to be going out. So I was hoping and praying that you were still coming. But, yeah.
Yeah. Luckily, it is not a very long thing to have. So I started feeling a bit ill on the Wednesday, and by the Friday morning didn't start off great, but by the evening I felt all right. And then Saturday we had a wonderful weekend, didn't we? Went to see John Bishop.
We did. Maybe we do an episode on that.
Well, yeah, we definitely need to. We met 3 lovely women.
Yes. Luke's potentially a home wrecker.
Right. Okay. So we're going to move on. This is going to be an episode. Okay, so I think this is the perfect time to move over to the questions of the week.
Questions. So I'll go first this week, Luke.
Okay, that sounds good to me, mate.
So I think because this week's poo related, we should rank the following toilets. Best to worst. The following toilets are a festival portaloo,
Right.
a friend's house, your best friend's house,
Okay.
service station at 3 a.m. That's really important.
Okay.
A pub toilet or a work toilet.
Oh, you know what? There's so many layers to this. Right. Okay. Well, obviously the worst is a festival portaloo.
I agree.
It's the worst part of any festival, I think.
Yeah.
They're grim, and especially when it's raining and they all get muddy and you don't know if you're stepping on shit or mud.
Yeah.
They're grim.
The worst thing for me for portaloo toilets, right, is the fact that you get up, because you always get up early at a festival, right? No matter, I don't care what anybody says, you always get up early and always hungover. And I desperately, every time I've been to a festival, need a shit first thing, right? So you rush there, you feel shit, and then you open those doors and you're just greeted by either a fucking massive log that's like trying to escape the fucking hole that it's been like left in, or there's like a fanny pad or a tampon that's just fucking there, swat on the fucking toilet seat. Yeah. It's not for me. So yeah, I agree. That's the worst one.
That is the worst. Yeah. A service station at 3 a.m. I've done many of them for a shit when I used to be in the band.
Yeah.
They're not that bad. Like, when you need to stop, they are like a welcome sight.
Yeah.
That's why they call them welcome breaks. Oh, did I just discover something?
Just a revelation.
Yeah. A friend's house is nice, but I don't know. The shit that I drop, I feel bad for my friends.
Can I just make a disclaimer?
Yeah.
So, you know the New Year's Eve party that we spoke about before?
Yeah.
I let one of the most vilest, absolutely disgusting shits in your toilet in Wakefield that's ever come out my arse in your toilet. And Emily, who will be coming on soon, right? She went in there straight after me, and I feel so sorry for that woman.
She's never said anything, you know.
It fucking stunk, man.
Oh my god.
So yeah, I can relate to that one as well.
Yeah. A pub toilet, it depends on the pub.
Yeah.
Weatherspoons can fuck right off for obvious reasons. And work toilets, I say number one, because who doesn't love half an hour off work scrolling TikTok?
Yeah, getting paid for pooing.
It's literally, I can't remember the last time I shat at home, apart from Friday morning.
Fuck's sake.
Right, question number 2.
Okay.
How long do you leave it before having a poo at a new girlfriend's house?
So there's a little story to this. Actually, I've got one for you. When I met Hannah, I got really nervous shits. Like, she gave me IBS because she was like, when I first met her, I thought she was like really attractive. Well, I still do, but like, I just thought,
good save.
Fuck me, I'm gonna like, I can't mess this up. So I was like paranoid about pooing myself, and for about a good 3 weeks of me like meeting her, I always had to cut it short and like make a stupid excuse to leave because I was literally bubbling shit in my stomach. And to answer your question, it was actually about 3 months that I decided to do a poo in a toilet.
Wow. Was it well received?
It was. And she knew about it.
And look at you now, making TikToks while you're having a poo and she's crying about anglerfish.
That's it. Now I keep the door open. No, yeah, I don't know. You've got to like gauge it, haven't you? To be fair.
Yeah. What about farting? Because farting's different. I reckon you can get away with a cheeky fart early on.
Yeah, I think you can. Because you can laugh them off. But
yeah.
My experience with women farting, for ages, I always had a joke that women don't poo and women don't trump. Like, that was just a rolling joke that I have with people that I've met. But
yeah, that just comes up in random conversation, does it?
Yeah, it just does. It's like, I don't know. Like, all right, for example, people have farted in front of me and I said, that wasn't you, because girls don't poo or trump. It's like, yeah, I'm just trying to like laugh it off, and obviously, yeah, it's just a shit joke, Luke. You know.
Thanks. I'm so glad you got funnier.
Well, yeah, okay. Well, anyway, jokes aside, girls do fucking fart, and they lie about it as well, because my experience was with one person who will not be named decided to give me a little kiss, a little cuddle, and then all of a sudden I thought, oh, I can smell egg, like strong egg, like, you know, when you open a Morrison's packet of 2 boiled eggs, that smell of egg. Yeah. I thought, fucking hell, someone's cooking like boiled eggs here. She was like, I just went to her and went, have you farted? She went, no. I went, and I like pulled out the hug and I looked him straight in the eye and I said, are you sure? And she went, yeah, I promise. So I thought, and I don't know why I thought, but I thought, you know what, I'm going to do a little sniff test, go straight down there to the source, double check that this person hadn't farted. And as I went down, I took a very strong, confident, deep breath in. And if you can guess what's next, I huffed a massive fucking eggy fart. And I didn't know what to do, honestly, right? So I stood up. I had to walk out the room because I was actually sick in my fucking mouth.
Oh my god!
Like, I can't describe. If you've seen Brazilian fart porn, right? Please tell me you've not seen Brazilian fart porn.
No, Josh, what are you admitting to right now?
Brazilian fart porn.
Yeah, I don't care how many times you say it. I've not fucking seen it. What are you on about?
So there's some weird porn that Brazilians like doing. It's basically where they fart in each other and like, and it's like, but you can just tell in the fucking eyes that they're hating every moment of this fucking video that they're part of. Anyway, Google Brazilian fart porn. It's worth at least 5 minutes of your time.
Don't. You'll be on every kind of watch list if you do that.
It's on Pornhub.
Oh, I don't know. It's fucking hell. It's weird though when girls fart because, like, first time when you start a fresh relationship, I am always so paranoid about farting. I'm like, please don't do it yet. I need to at least woo her a little bit first before she sees the real me. But when a girl first farts, it's all and cutesy, and they laugh it off, and it's like, all right then, I don't know what I was so worried about, and then I'll let one rip, and it's like, you dirty bastard.
Yeah, it's double standards, isn't it?
Always.
So my next question, Luke, is one that's quite like a normal question because I imagine it's happened to at least somebody once upon a time is what I'm trying to say. But basically, imagine you go into a toilet, public toilet, and you do your business, and then you look to your left or your right, whatever it is on, and you see that there's no fucking toilet paper. What do you do?
This happened to me in a pub that I worked in.
I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, because so it was while I was working at a pub in Claycross, and the only other people on the bar were like friends that I knew from school.
Right.
And they were all female. And I went to the toilet and there was no toilet paper. But there was no way that I was going to ask one of them to come and bring me a toilet roll. Because I'd made a bit of a smell. So I'm like, shit, what am I going to do? First thought, socks. Then I thought, no.
Need them.
Not happening. Yeah. And I was like, started thinking out what have I got, looking round, patted my pockets and had my wallet on me. I was like, so what have I got? So I wiped my arse with a Tesco's receipt.
Fucking hell.
And then I started having issues with my arsehole.
If anyone's wondered how you get piles, it's from wiping your arse with a Tesco's receipt.
Yeah. Not proud of it, but yeah.
It had to be done.
It did. But then it's like, what do you do with it? Because you can't flush it, it'll clog the toilet.
Yeah.
So I put it in a bin.
Put it in a bin.
Which, you laugh, but I went on holiday to Zante, and you can't flush toilet paper down the toilet there. You have to put it in the bin, because the plumbing can't take it. And I went on holiday with my ex. We got into the hotel, and we've been travelling all day. So I went to the toilet, had a shit, and then I saw a massive sign saying, do not flush anything, like any toilet paper down the toilet, please use the bin provided. So I shouted through and I was like, can you just Google something for me? And she was like, yeah. I was like, just see if you can flush toilet paper in Zante. And she says, 2 minutes later, she's like, no, you can't, it'll block all the plumbing. And I was like, oh, fuck.
Wait, so you're telling me, right, you could have the biggest King Kong finger shit in the world, right?
Yeah.
And you can flush that down the toilet. But If you wanted to, like, wipe your arse or your front bum and then put that down the toilet,
Yeah.
you can't do that.
No.
That's bullshit.
You Google it. And I didn't like that holiday because there was just a bin next to the toilet full of shitty toilet paper. It was fucking disgusting. It was like going back to the medieval times. I half expected to shit in a bucket and chuck it out the balcony.
And have a stick with a sponge on the end for your arse. Oh, fuck me. Remind me not to go to Zante.
Well, that's the questions for this week. And, surprise, surprise, listener story time.
Oh my god, we've got listeners.
We have.
So this week, we decided to do this episode based on this story alone. This came in through the shameandshenanigans at gmail.com inbox. So remember to take all your send all your stories into there. But this one is titled, I ruined my girlfriend's brother's wedding with my arsehole. So this person says, hi Josh and Luke. First off, love the podcast. Never thought I'd have a story worth sending in. But after what's happened last summer, I feel like I need to confess my sins. So, my girlfriend's brother was getting married. Big deal. First time meeting the whole family properly, and I wanted to make a solid impression. Show them that I was a respectable, understanding bloke who wasn't just there to defile their daughter. But the night before the wedding, at the rehearsal dinner, I made a fatal mistake. I ate an entire plate of suspiciously looking seafood. Didn't even question it, just wolfed it down like an absolute idiot. Cut into the next day, and my stomach starts talking, loudly, during a ceremony. I'm standing there, sweating, clenching, praying to any god that would listen. The vicar's drowning on about love and commitment, but all I can think about is the war that's happening in my intestines. By the time we get to the reception, I know that I'm on borrowed time and I need the toilet. I excuse myself, power walk to the bathroom, and of course, it's full. Queued out the door. At this point, no longer a choice, it's happening, and it's happening now. So, in my desperation, I'd make a terrible decision. I run outside, find a secluded bush near the edge of the venue garden, and God forgive me, I drop my trousers and unleash hell. It was catastrophic, like should have probably sought medical attention bad. In a mid-crisis, I heard voices. Fuck me, this is... I've already read this, but it's still so bad. The bride and groom have come outside with the photographer for the first romantic sunset photos. I freeze, then horror. I realise I'm not fully hidden. The bush only covers me from the waist up, but from the waist down, I'm completely exposed. Like some kind of sick feral exhibitionist. I panic, lose my balance, and fall backwards into my own shit.
Oh my god, no way.
The photographer gasps. The bride screams to the groom, what the fuck? And I do the thing I can only do. I get up and pull my trousers without wiping and run full sprint through the wedding, through the guests, and through my entire girlfriend's family. So yeah.
Oh my god, what the fuck? You're trying to make a good impression.
Just shit on a fucking wedding. Oh my god. So yeah, hope this brings you joy. I have not attended another wedding since. Well, I'm glad about that because you're a sick bastard. Fuck's sake.
Oh, I am so glad we've asked people to send stories in. Yeah. This is what we need.
Yeah, absolutely. Fuck me.
Couldn't write it, could you?
No, well, this guy did.
Oh my god. That was amazing. What would you do though for the rest? Like, you'd be known for the rest of that relationship's life as the guy who shat in the gardens at the wedding.
Like it's like a massive life event as well. So I feel sorry for the bride and groom because they're they're just gonna get remembered for having some guy shit in the fucking garden behind them. Fuck me.
Oh my God.
Don't forget to send in your stories at shameandshenanigans@gmail.com. If you've got some questions for us as well, that's absolutely fine. Send them our way. But apart from that, I've been Josh.
And I've been Luke.
And you've been listening to I've Got a Story for You.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.